Uh-oh.
LinkedIn says you're not approved for LinkedIn Live. It's only available for a limited group of members and organizations. Apply for access.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Go live. Okay, so I'm going to remove LinkedIn. Remove. You got your music on in the background?
Yeah.
Okay, so are we live? It says we're live.
Live. Hold on, flip the door.
Okay, so we're live for our first attempt at South Sound connection. Waiting on our guests, so I'm trying to some destinations. Trying to hear backstage. Show display names. Okay. Checks.
Okay.
Guest is saying he's.
Hold on. I'll shut my door.
Hope this is recording. All right, we got Southbound Connection, sponsored by, or in collaboration with the DYOJO and All American Restoration. So,
Numero 1.
What's that?
All American.
What did I say?
No, I'm just putting my hat on.
Did you? I'm trying to see if this is.
We should have done a trial run first.
Well, that was. I had planned that. So Korbett says he's backstage. Hang on, I might need to kick you off for a minute. Or wait. Let me see if I kick you off, if that. Where is Korbett? What in the world? Okay, can you hear me, Brian? So he showed me a screenshot. You are backstage. Okay.
Yeah, live.
This was Friday. I was planning to do a test run, but it's
Can you do test runs on live?
Play a sound where guests enter. Guests must authenticate band guests. Guests see viewer comments. This is exciting stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. This is
how the sausage is made.
How the sausage is made. Close up. A little. Oh.
Just water.
Why? How come he can see us, but I can't see him? Sign up for free.
There's a link on the bottom that says having issues. You should click that.
This is not showing up. My mic doesn't work. Streamer free device. Guest instructions. Why did you pop right up, but kick from studio, edit mic settings, edit name? Okay, I'm gonna try to remove you again and see if he pops up. What's going on? This is real exciting stuff. Hey, Brian, can you see Korbett? Does you see a guest at the bottom of your screen?
No.
Yeah, he's sending me, it says, you're backstage. Am I in the wrong? Maybe I'm in the wrong one. StreamYard 2.4. We're in 4G. Hey, at the top of your screen, Brian, does it say StreamYard.com?
Hey, what'd you say?
On the top of your screen, does it say StreamYard.com 4G6M?
Top of my screen says South Sound Connections with a duck on the left.
No, but like in the internet, whatever, like the StreamYard.com.
Oh yeah, it says 4G 6MK W8SNB.
Okay, he's in a different one.
Yeah, 3 people watching us on Facebook right now.
Yeah, exciting stuff, y'all. We're
what up? Who there? Send us work.
let's see. Let me resend it. Stuff, y'all. We're
what up? Who there? Send us work.
Are you watching it live while you're on it live? Let me resend it.
See how long the lag is.
So, what is South Sound Connection to you, Brian? Why are you invested millions in this process?
Sorry, I was distracted. What'd you say?
What is South Sound Connection to you, and why have you invested so much money into
so much money and time and design? Well, I think it's a collaboration of other.
There's Korbett. Keep going.
Oh, we've thought about having a collaboration with other like-minded industries, professionals in our local area, which is the South Tacoma, South Sound area. Find out other ways how we all can develop business together and bounce ideas off of each other, so we all can grow.
Yeah, promote what people are doing. Sorry, Korbett, I think I sent you the wrong, or I'm in the wrong one. We checked, it's streaming live on YouTube, and I believe it's on Facebook. So I thought for some reason it streamed to Instagram too, so I might have to play with that. But
well, this is really cool setup technology where you have the waiting room and things too. It's pretty neat. I haven't heard of this technology, but thanks for getting me on.
Yeah, it might be, with a lot of stuff that you do, helpful. It says you can have up to 10 people, and there's comments. A friend of mine, he does Pacific Northwest backstories, Rick Dancer, and he uses this frequently. I'm pretty sure it feeds his Instagram, so I'll just have to figure out how that rolls. So, Korbett, you haven't met Brian. Brian is the owner and co-founder of All American Restoration Services.
What's up,
Okay. Okay. Hey, good to meet you.
Likewise.
So he's the money bags behind this venture. So that
Nice.
and so we're at the All American Studios, and looks like you're in the Success Factors studio there.
I am. I'm at the executive table.
There you go.
How many board seats are there?
What's that?
How many board seats are there?
There's 8 at this table, so it is a rather large table. So,
well, I
and it expands, so I can put in some, and I got a room enough to do that. Yeah, it's a good, what started off as a good family project, and just kind of being curious turned into a full thing that got encouraged. So we're really excited about launching it.
Nice.
So, okay, I was looking up just I guess maybe give a real brief, what is Success Factor, and where did you get the idea to even try to put that together?
Yeah. So last year, around the time that when Nipsey Hussle passed away, I started looking at his story of what he was doing in LA in his community, and saw all of these wonderful things that he had done as an entrepreneur and investing in community, and it kind of gave me some ideas and some encouragement, and say, actually, that's stuff that I like to do here in Tacoma. That's stuff that I think a lot of people can kind of get behind in terms of having a successful business, figuring out what the business model is, and taking the time to invest in yourself and figuring out in what ways you can give back to help others. And so I started working on this board game called Success Factors. And I also have 3 boys. So my oldest will be 18 next week, at the end of this week, actually. And my middle son is 17. My youngest is going to be 15 in February. And so, there's all of these life lessons in terms of finances and home ownership and, different kinds of questions that you answer. There's curveballs that happen in life. And so I started to kind of put these ideas together to come up with this game board, with a lot of the things that I had been talking to them about, but trying to kind of gamify it a little bit more so that we could have some good conversations and play a game and kind of practice those life lessons about investing in a business, choosing a career, understanding that things are going to happen from time to time that might throw you off. And there's a whole bunch of questions in there that are a part of this project I worked on a long time ago called Life Lessons and Legacy. So just trying to kind of pull everything together to kind of gamify it and to try to have some fun and learning at the same time. And I think it's been a good project. It's been a good learning experience.
That's cool. Well,
and so I guess first I did just a brief look on Wikipedia. I guess the original creator of Monopoly, Lizzie Magie, there was 2 sets of rules. One was what we've come to know it as, where you create monopolies and you crush your opponents. But I guess she originally intended it to be kind of the anti-monopoly, to show the dangers of it. And so you were supposed to be rewarded when everybody in the game actually accumulated wealth. I can't say that I've ever played it that way. It sounds like your game is trying to go more in that spirit, right? There's maybe more health, or wealth doesn't always equate to happiness or health in a community, right? If it's not properly utilized. And that's kind of what you're trying to encourage people, is to think of, more the whole picture, right?
Yeah, it kind of blew me away when I went and looked at the backstory of Monopoly too, because I started kind of, doing some research of my own and understanding these different models and perspectives from the Monopoly game. Yeah. And I would say from my I think this game is more middle ground. It's not like Monopoly, try to get all the money, all the resources, and then you win. And it's not this everybody gets money and everybody. It's not. It doesn't make a it's not good of it's you don't somebody, you're not taking away from someone else to invest in your business and entrepreneurship. So I think it's more middle ground of like, invest in ideas, invest in business that provide a service. And yeah, you're going to have to pay for services if you land on the spot.
Right.
But there's these actual social impact cards. And so there's two ways that you actually, there's a number of ways that you earn points in the game or win the game. It's how much wealth you establish at the end of the game. And it's also how many points you have. And so at any time when it's your turn, you can invest in these social impact cards. Some of them are related to environment or sustainability or affordable housing. And they're actually weighted more. You get more points than having the cash alone. So you'll win by being able to have enough businesses where you're generating more wealth throughout the game, more income throughout the game, and you'll actually win. You have a better shot of winning if you take some of that money and as much as you can without going bankrupt, and investing them into community and social impact projects. And so there is 24 cards that are social impact cards on it that's actually tied to data from donor databases and kind of gives you a deeper insight. So where I kept the game pretty simple, I'm going to just share this with you really quick, John. So on the actual cards, when you buy that social impact card, there's a little, like a sentence or two about that thing. Let's say we're talking about racial equity or something, or we're talking about supporting seniors or healthy kids. There's a QR code that I stuck on there that actually links to a deeper dive into that social issue. And I did the same thing for the employment cards. And so the employment cards are actually based off of real data from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, where you can see, so my son can say, you know, this microbiologist, what is that thing? And there's like a 1 cent, what does that person do? You can actually click on the code and it'll take you to the labor statistics, the medium wage, what kind of education you need, like more details about those. So I put data and put it into the artwork of the game, where you could take out your phone and take a picture of it and go deeper if you wanted to.
Okay.
So there is a top level where it's like you could just play the game and have fun.
Yeah.
You can also switch and go down deep in terms of the realities of the way that things are set up in the world. So I'm pretty excited about it. I've gotten a lot of support. Almost, I think I'm getting close to 3/4 of the pre-sale of the game sold. So before the first bundle comes in, they're almost all gone.
Wow.
And so this is the very start of it. And so then I'm gonna, do another round. But I'm pretty excited. I think it's needed in communities. I think it's needed in families, especially for people that have kids that are trying to teach some of those lessons around credit and finances. And I even put some terms in there to around the businesses that has the value, valuation of the business. So kids can kind of learn different concepts early. But we're during COVID is a time where families are home. And for me to get my kids off the Xbox for a little while, have some good conversations. It's a win-win. I'm excited. But the one thing that kind of caught me off guard yesterday when me and my youngest son was playing it, that's the one that's gonna be 15 in February. Yeah. He beat me. Okay. So I literally got beat at my own game, right? So now they were all they've all been a part of designing it and vetting different questions and that kind of thing. So it's our game, but man, it's something to get beat at your own game.
Well, it's the way it's supposed to go, right? Teach them.
Yeah.
What's the age group that you're thinking that this is designed for? More teens?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think like preteen and up. I think that's probably going to be the age group. I think that you could always start some of the conversations a little bit early, but there is some math that's done in it, and I think that that's healthy too. We need kids that have really strong math skills, and regardless of where you're at in life or what kind of job you have, knowing percentages and knowing how to count and take some calculated risks too, I think is a good thing, especially if we want to encourage creative minds and entrepreneurs and those kinds of things. So there is a little bit of math in there. I think that's the one thing that what probably raises it a little bit more in some of the concepts. But if you could, so I think it's probably going to be preteen and up, but I think we'll have to kind of see.
Well, you hear a lot of people talk about that's, skilled trades, and then financial acumen is not necessarily something that gets taught a whole lot in the schools, some of those life skills. So I could see that potentially being, a great asset, like maybe even in education, and that intersects with a lot of what you do in your day-to-day work, right? Mm-hmm. Like trying to bring the community together. Mm-hmm. What can you explain? Maybe I think a lot of people, maybe Bryan, you listen to a lot more hip hop than I do. I became aware of Nipsey like after he passed away and listened to some of his music. But for a lot of people, they don't necessarily associate rap music. It's maybe become more popular now. Obviously, rap music with like talking about real issues, but also what some of these people, artists are doing to really bring awareness. And then also I did a little bit of research. He had like a clothing company, really invested in Crenshaw area, right? In where he grew up. Can you how did that hit you, and why, how do you see that as being important? Fusing, it's obviously important. If you're a parent, you have to somehow relate culture to, your kid's interest with what you're trying to teach them. So why was that so pivotal?
Well, I think that culture eats strategy for breakfast. We've probably heard that term, right? Culture eats strategy for breakfast.
I haven't heard it necessarily in that context, though. Yeah.
So even on, I think even in community contexts where you have folks where you have like cultural icons. Yeah. And that, I think there's a lot of leverage that folks have that have that kind of status. And so Nipsey Hussle was one that had continues to have that status as in the California area and in communities across the country. And there's several others. I mean, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre. These folks are have come up with different business models, and and there's certain terms too. When if you listen closely enough to a rapper like Nipsey Hussle, you'll hear concepts about vertical integration, and that makes you feel like, oh well, what is vertical integration? What does that mean? What does that look like? Yeah. And so being able to communicate ideas in plain talk language about whether you're a construction worker or a barber or a financial analyst, I think that there's being able to touch communities and encourage some of those ideas, I think is important to do in any community. And frankly, I think there's a good opportunity to really encourage that with on a local level too. I think about the immigrant and refugee population here in Tacoma, here in Pierce County, and Washington State. How do you encourage micro businesses and business in economics within their communities so they can be strong and successful and introduce the ideas that they have, because it makes our communities just better. It just makes our it makes us a place where people want to live and thrive and be complex. And I'm thankful to have grown up in Tacoma, where I feel like connected here, and it is a place where you want to raise a family, and I think we have a long way to go in terms of the business community and what we have to offer folks. I think people will continue to come here.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's cool about Nipsey is that he didn't leave, that he worked harder and harder, and he ultimately was reinvesting that into his community where he's from.
Yeah.
And I think that's the hope with Tacoma is that, you know, I'm not from Tacoma, but I mean, this is where I've worked for the last, 4 or 5 years, that it'd be awesome if the community were to continue to grow and develop, and then all of that money would stay here rather than disperse and go other places. Focusing on Tacoma and the Pierce County, South Puget Sound area.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that, it's going to be interesting. One of the things that's going to change with COVID that is going to impact Tacoma significantly over the next 5 years or longer, or just change the way that everything is done. When you have major companies outside of, in a metro area like Seattle and south of Seattle, saying that folks only need to come into work, 2 or 3 days a week, that's going to completely change where people live. And so most people are saying, like, I have to live in Seattle because I don't want to pay for this or don't want to pay for that. And it helps me get to work on time. I don't want to lose that time. Now people are going to make some different decisions about where they live. And that's what's going to make Tacoma an even hotter market, because we have, frankly, if you look at the data, in a lot of cases, we've eliminated the achievement gap in terms of graduation rates in Tacoma. So if you look at that as a social issue, Black and white students are graduating at the same rate in Tacoma. Now, there's some post-secondary issues to kind of address, but I'm just saying that our education system is great. We don't have a lot of affordable housing. That's going to be a challenge. We're going to have more challenges because more people are going to want to move here. But I think that Tacoma is going to be continue to be a hot market, as well as Puyallup and Sumner areas and different communities that we haven't really thought of, because people aren't going to have to commute to work in the same way. That's really going to change things.
And there's room to grow here. There's not, it's landlocked in Seattle. That's why they got to go vertical so much, which obviously comes at a huge cost for development.
Right.
So you designed it, success factors. Where can people get a hold of the game? I know we've got the GoFundMe. Where is the best place to track the game down?
Yeah, at TacomaPublishing.com. So I went ahead, and I was actually surprised that it was available. But Locked In, the LLC incorporated just this past month with the support. And actually, I questioned whether or not I was going to finish the game. I don't know if I shared that, John, but I actually was like 70% done with the game. Still had a little bit of work to do, and I actually was unsure about finishing it 2 months ago. And then I posted on Facebook to my friends and said, "Hey, if I finish this game, would you want one?" And there were like 100 people that commented and said, "Yes, I would buy it today if it was a." And then somebody said, "Just set up a GoFundMe page and I'll put some money in there for you to finish it."
Yeah.
And, that was Salong who gave me the push. So set up the GoFundMe page, raised the $2,500 to complete the prototyping and some of the pieces that I needed to do, and then incorporated and started selling the game. And this week has been a pretty decent week for orders of just people that so I'm excited to kind of get it out there. I think it's going to be I'm waiting on the boxes to come in, the final boxes for them to come in. So it's a custom design box. And I'm just waiting on that final piece and excited to share it out with folks. So TacomaPublishing.com.
So I saw your board. The sample board you had even for GoFundMe. So you printed up a board for your family to use, right? And then you were kind of putting together the pieces and figuring out how the game comes together.
Right.
I grew up in, I was born in Seattle, but I think about fourth grade, we went over to Moses Lake in Eastern Washington. And so they made a Moses Lake-opoly. And my mom actually helped design some of the components of it. So it was just like a rehash of, with real valuable pieces from around Moses Lake. But the board
John, can I share my screen and show what it
Yeah,
looks like? I'm gonna try to see if this works. Let me see if it will. Okay. Oh, it won't. I won't be able to pull it up. Oh, actually, I have to just
see if I can. Tacoma Publishing.
Yeah. Application window.
Here we go.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I think I can do it on mine. Share screen. Is it working? There we go. Can you guys see it? I clicked over and I can't see my.
Not yet, but it's you know, technology is one of those things where it's kind of playing around with it. But I am. Oh, there it goes. There you go. Mm-hmm.
So the Success Factor game. Tacoma.com.
Yeah. So I'm. You know, there's some half of the spaces in there are also like side hustles, because I think we also live in a time, especially with COVID, where there's a lot of we're working on the gig economy for a lot of folks. They may have a permanent job and they might be doing something like Uber Eats or be a freelance writer or some of those things. So I actually use the World of Work clock to try to touch every kind of business.
Okay.
Added side hustles into it so that I could be as so I could hit everything that folks might do. So thanks for sharing that, John.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, and it's got me thinking. It's definitely. My wife says we don't like to play board games at our house because they get too competitive. But hopefully, this one has some valuable lessons. Well, and it seems like you said, there's the get rich or accumulate wealth, but also points, right? So you go all one way or the other and still win the game, or you really have to try to maneuver both of them.
You kind of have to balance a little bit of both. Right. And there's also some decision making earlier on what kind of job you have. So you start off with a career. And you then invest in the businesses, and you might do a little bit of side hustles, but you also earn some points for the Q&A cards. So the Q&A cards have discussion questions around credit and retirement and life lessons and financial literacy. So if you land on those spots enough time, you actually earn points that will translate into cash and other things. And there's some curveballs, and right or wrong, the curveballs can put you up or put you down. But you still earn some points along the way for the curveball question. So
is it kind of like a mixture of life and Monopoly then, almost, huh?
I would say, yeah, I think it has some of those components. I think it has some of those components to it in some ways. But the curveball questions are very unique. The financial literacy questions, some of them they're questions, but they're also things like, are you doing what you said you would do? Are you doing it well? Are you? What do you plan to accomplish in the next year? What are you committed to accomplishing in the next year? So imagine playing a game as I'm playing with my son and hearing what he's interested in and like what he's really thinking. Sometimes, when you ask kids, you get a one-word response. You have to try to kind of tease stuff out of them in some ways, but this really kind of gets some thinking and some engagement pieces that's a little bit unique in the next year. What are you committed to accomplishing in the next?
Sorry about that. I clicked over and tried to make somebody left a comment, and then it took me to a different screen. So
no worries.
Well, that's awesome. And then so we got the age group is teens and families. TacomaPublishing.com is where we can get it. And then when are you thinking it's available now to order, correct? When are you thinking they'll ship?
Yeah, all of the pre-orders will be there. Will be delivered by the second week of December, so before Christmas time.
Okay.
So if anybody gets their order in now, we're about 75% through the first order, and those will all be fulfilled by the second week of December.
Families with teens, awesome. Okay, well, I'm not 100% sure. I'm hoping this recorded. I know I can see it's on our YouTube, so I'll link it and try to get all the website and those kinds of things in there. So thank you for being our inaugural, for working through the bumps with us. Maybe just to wrap up, tell everybody again who you are and where the websites are and what the product is that you're pushing.
Yeah, so Tacoma publishing.com. My name is Korbett Mosesly, founder, creator, designer of the Success Factors game. And on the website too, you can see another product that I put out a couple years ago called the MyPlan. And it's really about career navigation and life planning, and that's on TacomaPublishing.com as well. So Jon, and it's just great to be here. I appreciate you reaching out. I love this platform and the work that you guys do, and we'll keep following you. And thank you for all the hard work that you put in and lots of lessons. I'm gonna keep you plugged in, and so I can kind of keep following other things that you uncover. So I appreciate your support.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you for being patient as we tried to schedule it, and then being patient as we work out all the kinks. So, awesome. I mean, the game looks phenomenal, man. You did a great job. I'm really looking forward to playing it with the family and seeing where it goes. So just remember us little people when you blow up.
Yeah, hey, Monopoly sold 230 million copies. If I could do like a percent of next year, I'd be. Yep. I'll have to come back and thank you guys for being my first media.
Yeah, we'll be the reason, right? The reason blew up.
Hey, thank you guys.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace.
Okay. Not bad for a first try.
Yeah.
Right. So
unplanned first try.
Well, planned, but we were trying to. Yeah, this was supposed to be the second one. We were trying to work out the kinks on another call. So, you want to just wrap up, Bryan? Let the people know why is Bryan Close investing in South Sound Connection? Oh, and the logo. If let's see, obviously we'll have the logo. We've got it on the YouTubes there and whatnot. But you created
why is because Jon Isaacson has the secret documents, and he's holding us hostage and making us do this.
Got the secret videos, yeah. So tell people again, why are you involved, and what are you hoping happens with success or not with South Sound Connection?
Well, I think very similar to what Korbett's doing. I mean, we all want to make a name for not only our company, but find other like-minded professionals, companies, et cetera, in the work, in the South End, Tacoma, Pierce County, Thurston County, Kitsap, bounce ideas off each other, try to develop our businesses better, collaborate, just kind of see what happens.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We had a lot of fun shooting the inaugural video around town with Brandon. So check it out. Please tell your friends. DYOJO.com/SSC if you want to keep up to date. We're on the YouTubes. I think this is streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn maybe. Oh no, we got kicked out of LinkedIn. We're not cool enough for LinkedIn. I gotta request it. So so here we go. All right, Bryan.
All right, man.
We'll get back to work. Thank you.
All right. Bye.